I've been making ceramic planters out of this red terracotta colored clay, and this is definitely not my favorite type of clay that I've ever used, but since I moved to New Orleans from Kansas City 3 months ago, I've been on a desperate journey to find a new clay body to work with here, because if you're not that familiar with pottery, you might not realize that it can actually be kind of a nightmare sometimes to source good clay to work with. Like down here in Louisiana, there's basically only one clay store that I can get to, and clays are actually a pretty regional thing. Like the store that I go to here mixes the clay in-house, which means if I wanted to use the same clay that I was using in Kansas City, I would have to pay astronomical shipping fees to get it here. Like it would actually double the price of the clay itself, and that is not happening. So I've been experimenting with a few different clays here until I find one that feels perfect for me, which brought me to this red clay, which I never really intended to be like my daily clay that I use all the time, but I did think it might be fun to use occasionally to make things like these planters or more decorative objects. But after this experience, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. For one thing, this clay is incredibly messy. Like I filmed this video a few weeks ago and there are still stains on my pottery wheel that I cannot get out. There's also little red stains all over the clothes that I was wearing, and this is actually the first type of clay I've ever used that has stained my clothes like that. And I'm typically in my studio 4 or 5 days a week, so I'm not ready to sacrifice my entire wardrobe to this clay. But my main qualm with this clay is that it was just really fussy, and I had so many issues with cracking in the bottom of the pots. And cracking is just literally my worst nightmare. Like I've actually had nightmares about cracks in my pots. Usually I like working with clays that have a really high sand or grog content, which increases the grittiness of the clay and also the sturdiness of it, which prevents cracking while drying. But this clay didn't have any of that grittiness at all, and I am just not the kind of person that has the patience to deal with clays like this. So about half the pots wound up cracking, which means I just have to smash them up and use it again later, if I dare. But for the ones that did survive, they wound up looking a bit like this after being glazed and fired. I also regret using this green glaze. It looks a little too much like Christmas.